or at the end, I only have about 4 or 5 inches. Very good, Ava. So we only have about 4 or 5 inches here at this point on the end of my thread. So I'm going to knot it. So the video that I showed you, she goes back through this same spot that we did the last time. I can stand that up a little bit. All right. And then she has you go back and you're going to take a stitch right underneath where that thread is. All right. And then as I'm pulling this down, whoa, almost lost it. As I'm pulling this down, go through that loop, just like we did when we've done our other knots. So there's one. She stopped at that point. I want you to do 2 more because 1 is not enough. 2 is okay. 3 is much better. And I just unknotted my, or unthreaded my needle. There we go. So I'm going to go through a loop. That's number 2. I'm going to go underneath there again. And doing right there. Instead of cutting that here, I'm going to go in between my layers. And then I'm going to come right up. I'm just going to pull that. That all disappears. So what do I do with this? I'm going to cut this flush, even. And then that tail is inside in between the layers. It's not cut off at the knot right there. It'll come undone right there. All right. Perfect. And then I'm going to show you how to get started again. Today is my day for making knots for some reason. Let's try this again. Boom. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. All the way to the end. I got a little tail right here. I'm going to cut that off. And I'm going to open this back a little bit. Make a stitch go through. And I'm ready to continue on. Now, a couple of things. A student asked me said that I was making it difficult to understand how to sandwich the pieces together. And I'm trying to use the same language that a pattern company uses about taking a piece of fabric and laying it down wrong side up, right side down. And being able to understand the difference between the right side of the fabric versus the wrong side of the fabric is something really important. You will have to know rights and wrongs as well as rights and lefts. And those are 2 completely different things and different concepts. So you will need to make sure that you're always paying attention to, it'll be very specific. At one point or another, you might sew on a patch pocket, for example. So you use the right side of your fabric, like your pants fabric. Let's say we're putting a pocket on a pair of pants. The pants need to be right side up, but the pocket needs to be right side up as well. Normally we sew things right sides together, but instead we would have, like if this was my pair of pants and I was going to put a pocket on it, I'd have to have my right side to my wrong side when I put it on. And that's really important language to start to get used to hearing and listening to. So I'm not trying to make it difficult for you. I'm trying to make you familiar with the language that you will be listening and reading when you are following a pattern. It's one of the things that a lot of people, adults, tell me that they tried to sew when they were younger, but they just didn't understand how to read a pattern. And it's the instructions. They're written and there's drawings, but the drawings are sometimes difficult to understand. So they always have sentences written on and explaining. Oh, excuse me. They'll have the instructions as well written, and they're very specific. So we have to make sure that we're paying attention to that. So, and once you're used to it,